Portland. My aunt lives in Portland. I keep on getting those mixed up. And like I go there often. Like the first time I went, I was 6 months. I was there this year. Like I
Okay.
go there to visit my family, but and I go there often. But I know like a lot of times, like Yardis, people who were born in Jamaica, they would be like, "Oh, you're not Jamaican because you
Yes.
weren't born there,
Yes.
right?" But it's like that's the culture I grew up with.
Mhm.
I haven't had yams. I didn't have yam, the what was it, candy yams or
Yeah.
whatever, until I came here. Like I never, a lot of like American foods, I just never had it. Like I grew up, I woke up on Saturday morning, my mom was cooking cornmeal porridge,
Mhm.
right? So it's like it's weird because I grew up with Caribbean culture, but I'm not Caribbean enough for them sometimes.
And no, that's why I be staying away. That's why I feel like, you know what, if I can't come hang with y'all, I'm fine, because I rather educate myself more before I really put myself in a position to be frontline with them and understand what they have going on, because that is like a whole different world on its own.
No, but that's why I try not to like label myself. Like
And that's why
I say I'm Jamaican, but like I really don't care respectfully how Jamaican you think I am. Like my parents are from Jamaica. I consider myself Jamaican. If you don't agree, okay, agree to disagree. But it's like I'm not gonna have someone tell me I'm not something because I wasn't born there.
Right.
Because are you not like that's the culture I grew up with. That's the culture I knew. So like just because I wasn't born there does that. But that's the talk. That's the that's the conversation.
No,
right
but
there.
that's real. That's real, because not even to go off tangent, but that's like, for example, when you have I don't even know if I could say this on here, but the show, I don't know if you be watching like Baddies and stuff like that, and that whole situation with her saying like the N word because she's Puerto Rican and she feels like it's okay. I think that goes into that too. When you just, even though you may not be a specific race, when you grow up with the group of people, that's what you get accustomed to. And that's why with that situation, like it kind of did touch me a little bit, but then again, I didn't really get as mad as they were on the show, because I'm around Puerto Ricans that say that, and to me, it never felt like, till when if a white person were to say it, I would have to say something. But that's just me. I don't know. I feel like because I've been around them like my whole life. I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't really. Okay, in Bridgeport, no. In Bridgeport, like they actually no. In Bridgeport, I wasn't around too much people who said the N word. Like they would say it, but I don't think I've, me personally, in Bridgeport, I've never heard anyone that wasn't black say it. Me personally, though, it could have been said, but I didn't hear it.
That's crazy, because everybody,
Or maybe I wasn't paying attention because I do that a
everybody in
lot.
Hartford definitely like say that, and I mean that's, I don't know. I just feel like maybe Hartford is a little bit smaller, I think, than Bridgeport.
Oh, Bridgeport's big, the biggest city population wise in Connecticut.
Yeah, so I mean, everybody know everybody in Hartford. Like, I mean, even if you don't know them, you probably got them on social media, so technically you know them. So it's probably a bit different there. But okay, that was good. That was good. So how would you define? Okay, you already kind of like define what your culture is, but how do you think it shaped your college experience? You know, like I know you spoke a little bit about making friends and things like that, but overall, so far.
I would say like I definitely gravitate to. Well, no, I mean I somewhat do gravitate to what's familiar. So a lot of my friends are, but those are like my old friends, like the friends I've been had Caribbean. But then I also like I have friends who aren't Caribbean. Well, who aren't Jamaican. I have a friend who's Haitian. I have a friend who's African. Most of my friends are black. I do have a few like non-black friends, but it's like I find that people gravitate to what's familiar, and me too. And then I do like get that like it's good to like have friends that are different from you, but it's like it's easier for me to have friends that are like me because or like we're the same majors because like I could study with them, I could talk about my classes with them, I could talk about culture with them, and they will understand. Because having to explain everything does get annoying sometimes. Because I remember when I first got here, it was sore, and I would explain the difference between knotless braids and box braids. And so it's like, and like my teammates, like sometimes I will explain stuff to them because they ask questions, and because they don't know much about my culture, which is good. And but sometimes it does get like tiring to have to explain everything. So it's like it's easier sometimes just to have friends who like understand you.
No, yeah, I 100% agree. I'm interning with the Office of Equity and Diversity, but I work at student employment. So I'm the only black person in that entire office. My supervisor is white. All my coworkers are white. So every time I switch up my hair, like I just had a red wig on for my birthday, and I came back 2 days later with braids in. So they was like asking all these questions, or like when I wear certain things, when I talk about certain things, they're just always asking questions, and it does get annoying. But sometimes it makes me feel like a little bit of in control and having a bit more power, because I can explain things to them that they probably already heard, but they probably heard it in like a negative way. So I feel like, and I can also express like the extra beauty behind everything,
which I do love. Like a lot of the questions are in innocence, but sometimes I don't want to have to explain stuff.
No, I get it. I definitely understand. So has your thought of like culture changed since coming here?
Yes, it has. Yeah, it has. Because when I was in Bridgeport, like Bridgeport was the only culture I thought about. Like our culture is the only culture I thought about. But like coming here has had me like think about other people's cultures, their perspectives and stuff. So I will say yes.
Okay. So due to the fact that Eastern is a PWI, how do you think those who aren't white, so just any race outside of that, like navigates here daily? Like, do you think Eastern is good with making like all the races and cultures feel accepted here?
I don't know. Like I don't. Okay, because you said how does a student who isn't white? So like it would have to be something to compare to.
Yeah.
Because like I would say like I don't know how like white students go throughout Easter. So it's like there's nothing I can compare it to. I could talk about me, but like I mean like I've had like a few like microaggressions and stuff like that. Not too much, but like there's nothing for me to compare it to. So I can't really say we do this differently or we do that differently.
So I guess to twist the question. So Eastern is categorized as a PWI.
Right.
Do you think that basically, just put it like this, plain and simple, do you think any race could come here and have a positive 4 years?
I do think like overall a positive 4 years, yes, because you go anywhere, you're gonna have it's not gonna be like 100% good and stuff like that. I mean, I've had encounters. I remember the first day when I took a shower, my I was lotion. No, I was putting cocoa butter, and my roommate had asked me what was I doing. I was like, you're lying. I remember when I had took out my hair, and they kept on asking me questions about it. So it's like it's like there are going to be challenges. I've had challenges with my team. I've had challenges with previous roommates. I've had challenges with. I remember one time I did like a project for a bio, and my professor, she said she took points off because she said I had wrote British English instead of American English, and I guess that's because I put "use" in a few words like Jamaicans do, and I'm like, why is a bio teacher telling me? Talking to me about English, like because you know what the word is, and America's a melting pot, so it's like does it really matter? But so like there has been a few encounters, but I feel like you could still have a positive experience. Like maybe because I don't know everybody's experience, but I would say my experience hasn't been that bad. I've only been here for like a year and a few months.
You're a sophomore, right? Yeah, got a long way.
What would you say?
That was just about to say. Me personally, and I hate to say this because I love Eastern. Eastern has definitely did a lot for me financially, academically. I always recommend every black person to go to a HBCU though. I always recommend that. Just the culture there is different. The networking skills are different. A lot of what us as a minority are looking for is down there in those schools. But I do think that coming here, I think what Eastern is good at when it comes to mixing the races is that they give us the opportunity to have a BSU, to have a CSA, to have these clubs to express ourselves because like you mentioned, I had a situation my freshman year before I lived with my cousin the half the semester when I came here. I had a white roommate and it was things just like little things that she would do I couldn't get with and things that I would do that she couldn't get with. Like she didn't like that when I would fry chicken it would smell. So it's just like little stuff like that, or like how their hair is like really more thinner, so the hair just be falling out in the shower everywhere.
God.
She didn't clean it up.
Talk about culture shock to find straight hair on your clothes. I know this isn't mine.
Exactly.
I know this isn't mine.
So I'm just like, you know, there's little stuff, or like when I would play my gospel music in the
Mm-hmm.
morning
and clean.
and I hate to say, like, every white person I turn around here don't believe in God. So I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like little stuff like that. It definitely would make you not want to come here. But I think where Eastern lacks, they pick up in giving us those groups because, damn, you may have to deal with those few situations, but at least you know, like, you have a group of people that you can connect with.
I will say, I think I'm very, like, I think I'm a bit innocent or, like, oblivious to situations like those. So, like, those happen, but, like, I turn the other cheek, if that makes sense. So I'm not like, that's valid, but for me, I don't care enough. So.
Right, that's what you see. I was quick. I didn't even take it to no extreme. I didn't really. She filled out to me. I think that also goes to show who you are as an individual, because I'm such a nonchalant person. Like, it takes a lot, like, to really, really tick me off and really get me to a point. And I feel like I've been here for so long, so a lot of those things I just brush over the shoulder. So that's why I mentioned, like, you have a long way to go as far as, like, being here. You might go through more drastic things as you go along, but I feel like as long as you keep your personality, you seem like you're very upkept with yourself, you should be fine. So that's just me being a senior, being, you know, you being a sophomore. And I tell all, like, my younger friends that, because I have a lot of them who are just entering college. Even my sisters, they just graduated high school. You know, it's a journey. I feel like each year you really, like, go through things that you didn't really think would happen before. Because when I was a freshman, I'm like, all the stuff that the seniors were telling me that I would go through, I'm like, I ain't gonna go through that. And then I get there and I'm like, okay, you know. But I think here, like I said, it's good that you have those groups to rely on. Even if people may think, oh, you only hang with them, that's a comfort zone for people. It's comfortable. You don't have to be somebody you're not when you're hanging with them.
No, because I remember when my freshman year, like, she wasn't my room floor RA, but she was an RA. And, like, she would tell me, she was on the e-board for BSU. She would, like, tell me about stuff. And I was like, yeah, but, well, it wasn't even me. It was my brother. He was like, yeah, but, and then we learned, well, he learned later. I learned from him. So
Yeah.
it's like, you know, stuff are going to happen, but it is what it is. I try to go with just an upbeat spirit. Let it go. Pray about it. Like, give it to God, because I'm not dealing with this.
Every time.
I'm not dealing with this.
So just a few more. So what misconceptions about your cultures, and specifically, so you can talk about being Caribbean or Black, do you encounter here, and, like, how do you deal with them? So I know you spoke a little about microaggressions and stuff.
I mean, this happened freshman year. It wasn't even that big. What happened freshman year? Oh, dang, it was kind of like a year ago. I remember with my old suite mates. What happened? They had, like, people over, but I wanted to go to bed, so I had waited a little. I was, like, at the RA desk. And then one of my friends, she was also Jamaican. She came down from upstairs. She was, like, cleaning, and she just took a shower. And we went into the room, and people started spazzing. And I guess I don't even know the full situation, but they thought we had smoked weed because they smelt weed. And I was like, this is so faint, because, like, I grew up, like, uncles were smoking in the back, right? And I'm like, this is so faint. Like, this, no one on the first floor